What's going on, Knicks Nation? Welcome to another post game for your Knicks. For the Knicks Nation channel, your New York Knicks lose to the Atlanta Hawks 108-100. That game sucked. Terrible game from you New York Knickerbockers. NBA Cup game, put that aside. A lot of things to work on. Just two bad losses to this Hawks team this year. That is now two bad losses to this Atlanta Hawks team. Knicks lose 100-108. Hart 21-6. Bridges 19-2. Towns 19 points, 19 rebounds. Jalen Brunson. I don't know what it is with Jalen Brunson playing this Atlanta Hawks team, but this is now the second game this season that Jalen Brunson has played bad against this Hawks team. Go back to the game in Atlanta. One of his worst games this season. Tonight, I'm not sure if it topped it. It was pretty much up there. But Brunson with an absolutely terrible game. And, Dyson Daniels was on Brunson. Did a pretty hell of a job on Brunson. Knicks didn't do a good job getting Brunson off of him. But this was a terrible loss. Not even because we could have went to Vegas. Not even mismute all that. It would have been cool going to Vegas. But it's just how it went down. Poor shooting. Poor defense. Poor closeouts. I don't know what the heck happened in the second half with this Knicks defense. I don't know. We should not get smoked 61-46.5 against this team. We should not get smoked 61-46.5 against this Hawks team. And look, Hawks are playing well. They're playing better. They're playing as a team. But as, you're home. You're back at MSG. You're in front of your home crowd. MSG was rocking. Tonight, it felt like a playoff game in that first quarter. The crowd was going crazy. I don't know where to begin. I truly don't. It's a bad loss for you New York Knickerbockers. Appreciate every single one of you joining me here tonight for another Knicks Nation post-game show. Just getting started. Air out your frustrations in the chat. Super chat, Mr. Nice. Appreciate you with the super chat. Truly do appreciate you. Why not let the rookies in the third to match the speed? Mr. Nice says with the super chat. Once again, appreciate you. Yeah. Look, campaign, I thought should have played more. It gave us a little bit of a spark, but, Tyler Kolek played in the G League today. Maybe that had something to do with it. Ariel Hukporti was out tonight dealing with an ankle injury. McBride hurt his knee. Hopefully that he's good tonight. But Daddy A hasn't been playing now for the better part of, a few weeks now. And I've been actually on the board with Daddy A playing, but I don't. It's just, appreciate the super chat. But, yeah, so that's why I think those guys didn't play. But like I said, Jalen Brunson back-to-back games against this Hawks team, just absolutely, awful. And the thing about this Knicks team is some nights we look like we can beat anyone. We're rolling. Ball is moving. Guys are hitting their shots. Then some nights we look like there is work that needs to be done. We look lost defensively. Just pick and roll stuff. Trae Young was killing the Knicks with his slip passes tonight. Killing them. They didn't have no answer for it in the second half. Offensive rebounding tonight absolutely killed this New York Knicks team. Hawks were getting every offensive rebound. That's demoralizing. And to top it off, prison ball. I don't know if somebody from the league front office sent the memo down to the NBA referees, do not call anything. No blood, no foul. Treat it like a damn playoff game. If you don't see blood, do not call a foul. Prison ball. Prison ball was being played out there tonight. Cat still not getting calls, but, that's the least of our worries. But, yeah, prison ball tonight with the NBA referees, and they didn't allow anything. They didn't call anything, excuse me. And like I said, you just hope that Deuce McBride is good, because he got his leg. He bent back, and, that's never good. So that's a concern. Yeah, that's a concern. Hit some of these comments in the chat. Appreciate you, all of you, hitting up this tough loss, man. Wisdom, I don't know, man. I'm usually quick to blame Thibs, but it just looked like our team sucked. Oh, man. No life in the second half. You should not be getting outscored 61 to 46 and a half against this team. The Hawks came out in the third quarter with tons of energy. I don't know where the Knicks were. Like, we're still in the locker room in that third quarter, but no intensity, no life. Just came out as flat as can be in that third quarter. Just thought they can coast against this Hawks team who has been playing extremely well. And look, like I said, good win against Toronto, but you barely scrapped that win. You barely got by the Toronto Raptors. You did. You wanted to see them win a close game, and they did. And then tonight, the Hawks you took it to them, man. They took it to them. Yeah, this one sucks. Amanda, what's going on? Didn't make any free throws in the first half. Yeah. There's now 3 straight games for your New York Knicks not making their free throws. And look, offensive rebounding was abysmal tonight. Knicks only with 12 offensive rebounds. The Hawks had 22 offensive rebounds on the night. And the thing is, I want to see, like, the Knicks put Mikal Bridges on Trae Young tonight for majority of the night, especially in that second half. But when Mikal Bridges is in the game with Deuce McBride, I would like to see that switch. I would like to see Deuce McBride on Trae Young. Just a better matchup. Trae Young was getting by Mikal Bridges, seems like every time. Like, pick and roll, Mikal was just looking lost tonight guarding Trae Young. And once again, that's a problem. It's a problem. Defensively, this team is not where it needs to be. And, there are concerns. Look, we're 15-10 now in the season, 8-4 in Madison Square Garden. This one just sucked. And led by your leader, who I think just had another bad game. I mean, you go back a few weeks ago in Atlanta where he looked lost against them. And fast forward to tonight, it's more of the same. And he's been absolutely incredible this season. But just a bad game from JB, and that carried over to anyone. OG Anunoby, it seems like his shot is he's ice cold now. It seems like there's something going on with his shot, because the thing is, the Knicks shot poorly tonight. The thing is, like, they shot 26% from 3. You make a few more of those, you're in this game. You win the game. OG Anunoby was missing a lot of wide open threes tonight. I counted at least 4 or 5 of them were wide open for OG Anunoby. So, just that's a demoralizing blow, because, like I said, if this Knicks team is going to shoot the ball poorly and play defense like tonight, they're not going to win many games, and that's what happens. Yeah. They're not going to happen. Foul trouble. I thought Cat got into foul trouble, ticky-tack stuff, but 19 points. Cat was good tonight. 19 points, 19 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Just got into foul trouble. Got into foul trouble there. And you got Bridges going early in that first. You went away from him. Anunoby couldn't hit anything tonight. Josh Hart, I thought, was the only Knick tonight that was laying it on the line and playing absolutely amazing. I thought Josh Hart, he was awesome tonight. And, Josh Hart was the only Knick who, and Cat, but, Josh Hart was amazing tonight. But, guys, bad loss, man. Bad loss. See the frustration in the chat. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Smash the thumbs up button. We're just getting started. Chris, something is just off with this team and nothing changes. Brunson has not been himself this season. He has regressed. Plus, he looks a little out of shape. Chris, Brunson is, in my opinion, having one of his best seasons in terms of like assist numbers. And the thing is, a couple of these games now, 2 games versus the Hawks, he hasn't looked good. But for majority of the part of this season, he, in my opinion, has looked great. Despite like all the circumstances with the changing of the lineup and stuff. Eddie says JB was a total liability tonight. It's a shame saying that, but it's a fact. It's a fact. I mean, Brunson just couldn't find his lanes, find his areas on the court. And Dyson Daniels is one of the best defenders in this league, one-on-one defenders in this league. And he was on Jalen Brunson's ass all night long, matching him with the minutes. Brunson sat, Daniels sat. Brunson came in the game, Daniels came back in the game. And I thought that's on, like, the coaches got to do a better job getting Jalen Brunson free. They got to do a better job getting Dyson Daniels off of Jalen Brunson. And ultimately, it didn't happen. And Brunson was just confused. Just a lot of confusion on the offense tonight, and, that led to a bad loss. Lob after lob after lob, Joel says yes. Yes. Lob after lob, Hawks were getting everything, especially in that fourth quarter where I think the Knicks just simple slip passes from Trae Young. Look, I think he's leading the league in assists, and I think he had no assists in the first half, and then he finished with 11 assists. But I don't even think he was the main reason why you lost. It's just DeAndre Hunter came in for them and was hitting everything. Okongwu was grabbing every offensive rebound. The Knicks didn't box anyone out tonight. Jalen Johnson was awesome for them. And Trae Young was just doing his thing and with his shenanigans again. But, hey, they won. They can talk all they want. They won. Oh, man. Eddie says, yes, this team is underperforming. This Knicks team is weird, right? I mean, they're not underperforming. They're not. But what you're seeing is there's been a couple of games this season where they just look off. And you attribute that to poor shooting. It's the easiest thing to, like when you shoot 26% from 3 and 9 of 15 from the free throw line, you're not going to win many games. But normally, what's been happening? If a team scores 108 against us, that's a win normally. Knicks are scoring, 115, 120, 130, 140 some nights. So you can just chalk this up to, the poor shooting night, especially from Anunoby and Mikal 1 of 5 from 3. And you had chances down the stretch, but Cat was in foul trouble. But still, defensively, you should be better than this. You should be. The Hawks shouldn't be getting to anywhere they want to on the court. Trae Young shouldn't just be picking your defense apart. It shouldn't be lob after lob after lob. It shouldn't be like that. Where were the adjustments tonight? And to me, I didn't see any. I didn't see any adjustments tonight defensively from this Knicks team. And you got beat. You got beat. Poor defense, crappy shooting. It's a bad combination. You're not going to win too many games, but bad loss. Bad loss. Two bad losses to this Hawks team. And I don't know. You know how every team has one of those teams where you don't want to see? Maybe the Hawks are one of those teams. You don't want to see them down the line because they've showed you they ain't afraid, man. They ain't afraid. All right. Catch up on some of these comments. I am way behind. People keep saying this team doesn't practice, so that offsets their minutes. Is this true? Because WTF. Man, I don't think. Look, they're still 15-10 on the season. There's a lot to clean up, clearly, defensively. And they got to be better shooting the ball. And all of a sudden, these last 3 games, their free throws have fallen off a cliff. Like, I know to me, they went to the line 15 times tonight. I mean, they shot 15 free throws tonight. It should have been at least 25. Like, it should have been more, but it's an NBA Cup game. The NBA are treating these games like a playoff game. It's clear. No blood, no foul. Prison ball. Prison basketball. And hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. But just be fair on both ends. That's all I'm saying. Castro, what's going on? This loss hurts again. How does this happen against these Hawks? It's frustrating, Castro, man. It's frustrating. Mike, what up, Mike? Appreciate you in here. I'm not even mad. Congratulations to the Hawks. They definitely deserved it. All I can say is Leon about to get to work, or at least I hope, because the bench is too small. What's going on, Mike? What's going on, Mike? Dyson, damn news, yeah. I love Deuce, but I'm sorry. He is just not it. I love home. I'm absolutely not mad at him for this game tonight, but it just proves my point. His game isn't fit to be 6-man compared to others. Deuce has been awesome, Mike. He's been awesome, but I think he's been dealing with a knee injury this year, and he has a big wrap on his knee, and he's been consistently, like, he's been awesome for this team off the bench. Obviously, we've already seen what he can do in a playoff series. Not afraid of the moment. So I don't contribute to that, but right now I'm just worried about if he's going to be okay, because he got his legs bent back. He bent back and didn't look good. He was limping off the court. But when guys don't make shots, it doesn't look good, right? And Deuce 1 of 6, Campaign 1 of 4. Precious even attempted a 3. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, your Wingstop. Wingstop is closed tonight, by the way. Closed. Renovation. They're renovating. Something's going on at Wingstop. They combined 2 of 14 from 3. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. You're not going to win games like that, especially if you don't figure it out defensively. Not going to win games like that. And when you really don't get contributions from your bench like you did tonight, it's going to be tough to win, and you didn't. But that third quarter I thought was embarrassing. It was. The Hawks were literally doing the same thing over and over again, and the Knicks just couldn't find an answer for it. So things to work on, clearly. And things to work on. That's for sure. Oh, man. Big Taz, what's going on? This was embarrassing. Hey, guys, this was a bad loss, man. I'm not going to lie. It was a bad loss. It happens. It's a bad loss. 2 bad losses to this Hawks team. I don't know what Jalen Brunson, he doesn't play well against. This year, he hasn't played well against the Hawks. We should not be getting smoked 61-46 to this team. You come into this game, have a chance to go to Vegas, and like I said, don't really care about that. And I think with this loss, we actually get some extra days off. So if you want to call that a good thing, sign me up for that. Because if you would have went to Vegas, you would have had to travel to all the way out west. Then, look, the NBA Cup is cool, right? But I think with this loss, you now get a few more days off and you can rest up. So if you want to look at it, glass half full, I guess. But yeah, just clearly defensively, guys, I mean, it's just, I think it more has to do with like Mikal, and Mikal is just getting beat. He's just getting lost out like sometimes. And I was watching it really closely against Trae Young tonight, and like I said, I want to do something on Trae Young tonight, but and it's not just Mikal. I'm not pointing the finger at Mikal Bridges. But yeah, it's frustrating, guys. It sucks. Offense been a mess since Precious returned. Knicks 100 GM. What's going on, Knicks 100 GM? Appreciate you in the chat. That's what happens when you don't respect what Sims brings. TA brings up a good point. What's going on, TA? This irritates me. If your shot isn't falling, focus on boards, focus on defense. Yeah, TA, exactly. If your shot isn't falling, what we're seeing is this Knicks team pretty much not play well in the other areas of the basketball game, in the other important areas that obviously are important to win a basketball game. The offensive rebounding, the boxing out, the simple stuff, the getting beat, one-on-one defense, the trapping. A couple of times tonight when Trae Young was running a pick and roll, Knicks would trap him, slip pass, easy, and a guy's get open in the corner. The guy in the corner was cutting, and that's how those lobs were getting formed from the Atlanta Hawks. But that's effort, right? TA, they doubled your offensive rebounding essentially. 12 offensive rebounding from the Knicks, 22 from the Hawks. That's effort. That's all effort. And you got outbeat. You got outplayed. And look, it's not even like the Hawks shot the ball well either. That's the frustrating part. The Hawks were 9 of 31 from 3, 29%, 13 of 20 from the free throw line, 65%, 41% from the field. Bad shooting game, right? But they still found other ways to win the game. The offensive rebounding, the extra possessions, the lobs around the rim. That their percentage around the rim tonight had to be above 80%, and they got contributions from their bench. And when it mattered the most, they made the right plays. And for the Knicks, they shot poorly. Both teams shot poorly, but the Hawks with the effort plays came out on top. Came out on top. Did we even attack Trae? Did Cat get any post ups? Yeah, Jaden, what's going on? Yeah, I thought this game plan was just, I didn't like it. I didn't like this game plan from the Knicks. Like I said, Dyson Daniels on the Hawks side was good defender, great young defender. And Knicks didn't find ways to get him off of Jalen Brunson, pick and rolls, like just find ways to get him off of Brunson because clearly he was bothering him. And look, Brunson has figured out, like normally when teams put length on Jalen Brunson, he figures it out. It doesn't bother him. But tonight he just was lost. And I'm sure we're going to see it in the post game. I'm sure he's going to take full responsibility of tonight's loss. And that's what leaders do, as he should. And, that's pretty much that situation. Mike says, when we were switching between Bridges and OG on Trae, he couldn't do anything. Once he started attacking Cat, it was over, which is why he fouled out. Yeah, Mike, defensively, whether it's lack of communication, it's not like you're 25 games in, right? Maybe this is who the Knicks are. You're a quarter of the way through the season. 25 games in, you just got Precious back. He will help defensively off that bench. But what we're seeing now is what's the trend? What has been the trend? If the Knicks shoot poorly, they will not win. Of course, there's going to be games where, they scrap a win, gritty win, and they pull through. But for majority part of this season, when they have shot the ball poorly, they don't win. And that, to me, is a concern because you have to find other ways to win. Like if your shot isn't falling, you need to be doing the other things really well. And you need to be hitting your free throws. You need to be going for those loose balls, those offensive rebounding. Just the energy tonight was just not there from start to finish. And it sucked because, chance to go to Vegas. You thought the guys were going to get up, but they didn't. They didn't. Tony, what's going on? Bench can barely score 25 points a game combined. It's hard to win close games that way. I believe the New York Knicks are, I think they're bottom 3 in the NBA in terms of bench scoring. If not, they're at dead last in terms of bench scoring. So got some good news with Landry Shamet. He's doing work with the G League team. Don't really know if that's, news, because if he returns, I don't know if he's even going to play. But Deuce, bad game tonight offensively. And Campaign, they just shot the ball poorly. And if those guys are going to shoot the ball poorly, those are your offensive. That's your offense off your bench. And, of course, Precious is going to have these games where he can give you 10 to 15 points. But Miles McBride and Campaign, if they're going to not score and not – look, Campaign I thought played good tonight. I thought he played well. But if they're not going to give you scoring, your bench it's important, man. And that duo has been playing well. That's the thing that sucked, is that duo has been rock solid. But tonight just wasn't their night. And again, Anunoby, he had what did he shoot to the Raptors? I know he came out hot versus the Raptors too. So he was 2 of 9 versus Toronto. So these last 3 games for Anunoby: 2 of 8 versus Detroit, 2 of 9 versus Toronto, 1 of 9 versus the Atlanta Hawks tonight. And prior to that, 0 of 3 versus the Pelicans, 0 of 4 versus Charlotte, 0 of 8 versus Dallas. So ever since that big blow-up game in Denver, he's been struggling with his shot. But, that will obviously, throughout the season, you go through struggles and, you go through slumps. And that will obviously, he'll get through that. But, tonight sucked, guys. It did. It did, man. All right, here's some of these comments. Catch up on your comments. Appreciate you guys in here. This one, it stung, man. It's not the way you wanted to definitely play on, NBA Cup night, but screw all the NBA Cup stuff. It's just not the way you want to play. It's just not the way you want to play at all. Catch up on this. Josh Skillful, Precious certainly wasn't a silver bullet for defense. We need to address some greater issues like height for rebounding, defending the 3 ball, and someone who can score and get stops when needed. Yeah, Mike. Josh Skill. Sorry. I personally think when trade deadline comes, I've been saying I think this Knicks team needs another wing off that bench. But, it could very well just be your rookie and Daddy A, but he hasn't played. He's not going to play. That's what Tom Thibodeau has shown you, is that he's not going to play him consistently. And the Knicks are running a legit 8-man rotation. I think Dibs can get that to 9. I think Daddy A can get some playing time. I'm not saying Daddy A will fix, our defensive issues. But, yeah. And the Mitchell Robinson news is, we'll talk about that more tomorrow versus in the podcast, but they're saying now late January. So, with him, it's always up in the air. Like, what is the severity of his injury? Is he even, the latest report was he's not even doing drills. So that may be early February. And how can you really count on Mitchell Robinson? Can you count on him? Like, God forbid he comes back and the same thing happens over and over with him. Can you count on him? So I do think this Knicks team will address some, warts come trading deadline, maybe the buyout market, but obviously we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Jaden says, is it too much to ask for a defensive system change to be made, or we got to expect this defensive system to get better? Jaden, something I found interesting was Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, 2 of the best Knicks defensive lineups. They have them in it, but they're separated. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. You would think the pairing of Bridges and Anunoby, look, I know they play a lot of minutes, so that could be a little bit wonky. But yeah, it's Jalen Brunson. It's a lot of things. It's Brunson. It's Cat in the pick and rolls. It's they're attacking Bridges in terms of pick and rolls. He seems like he's lost. It's the miscommunication. It's a boatload of things, and it could just very well just be who we are, and it just very well could be like, look, if we're going to shoot the ball poorly, we will not win. It could just be that. That could just be the new Knicks. That could just be the new Knicks. You know the NBA is built on offense nowadays. If you ain't putting the ball in the basket, what you doing? And you know the old saying, defense wins championships. But if you ain't keeping up with scoring, you're not doing... Yeah, I mean, you're not going to win. And this Knicks team, the 10 out of their 10 losses, like they've showed you. I sound like a broken record. When they don't shoot the ball well, they lose. They lose. Jason Davis, what's going on? Appreciate you. Jaw Skillful, by the way, do you think do you get the impression the refs had some kind of bias against the Knicks? I said it earlier. It was a prison ball, man. NBA refs tonight I think they were awful. And this is not me blaming this game on referees. It's not me doing that because I don't do that. But I think they were bad. And Cat has I can count on my hand about like 5 times Cat just gets fouled and they don't really call anything on him. And an Obi got hit in the face, no call. Deuce McBride the guy, I think it was Bogdanovich, just literally jumped on his back. And that's the play where he got bent backwards, no call. But I don't think they have some kind of bias against the Knicks. I don't. You're seeing it across the league. It's a problem. Needs to be fixed. But it's like, what do you do? Like, do these guys get penalized? I don't know. I think they do. But, yeah. Tony, I'll get to your comment in a second. Can't expect to win games with offense when your defense is piss poor and you take 20 seconds to run the sets. Hawks, fastest pace. I think one of the fastest paced teams in the league. I think in the second half, they interviewed the Hawks head coach, and they said the Knicks look tired out there. Just keep running it full court, and you will get easy baskets. And that's what they did. They just kept running their offense. Knicks, whether they were tired or whether they just didn't know what to do defensively, it's a combination of both, in my opinion. That attributed to the Hawks. And look, they scored 108 points. It's not like they came into the Garden and dropped 130, 120 on your head. They shot the ball poorly too. First half, they couldn't hit anything. Knicks were lucky. Like, in the first half, we were up, 6 at the half, I believe. Knicks were lucky to be up, have a halftime lead. They were lucky because the Hawks were shooting the ball poorly too. But it's the winning plays. It's the offensive rebounding. You know, it's everything else. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. We need a center, plain and simple. All losses come against young teams with centers that can rebound. HRM, what's going on? I appreciate you in the chat. Look, depending on if you're waiting on that big Mitch to come back, if you want to pair him with Cat, obviously that will help, but that's like pie in the sky right now. You don't really know the situation regarding his injury. And yeah, Jericho Sims looks like he's in the doghouse. Got minutes tonight simply because Karl Anthony Towns was in foul trouble. So you're 3 men off the bench. You're 8. You're Precious, you're Deuce, and your Campaign. And if Cat is going to get into foul trouble, you're pretty much screwed. You could throw Jericho in there. Hukporty, it's just not consistent minutes that Thibs isn't giving him. And that's another thing. Like, Tom Thibodeau needs to adjust, man. He needs to evolve. He needs to adjust. He needs to evolve. He does. Like I said it early on in the season, it hasn't really been an issue, but just get me another guy in there. When Hukporty is healthy, get me some Hukporty in there. When Daddy is available, get me some Daddy for 10 minutes. Just need to evolve. I don't know if I like this 8-man rotation right now. I think it needs to go to 9. I mean, I like the guys in the 8-man rotation, but I think it can be expanded. It's a long season. It's a very long season, Thibs. Jay Terrence, we have to make a trade, guys. There's no way we can win a championship with this current roster. Terrence, what's going on? I appreciate you. I think we can. When everyone is healthy, I think we can. I think Mitch Robinson is a major piece, but that's asking a lot. That's asking a lot from Big Mitch. If we are on offense and less defensive, then you remember when Jordan Poole was coming off the bench for Golden State. That's the kind of player that we need off the bench with this team. Mike, the frustrating thing is, like, I know you were talking about Deuce McBride early on, but like Deuce and Campaign kind of fit that mold. They have been playing great, and they've been dealing with injuries. Campaign with the elbow, Deuce with the knee now, but yeah, the bench is definitely going to be a talking point from now until the trading deadline, but we just have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see. The scouting report the Knicks put out don't help. Yeah, it's frustrating, man, especially losing to Trae Young. That little weasel. No blood, no foul tonight, man. No blood, no foul. And the thing that sucked is that to start this game, crowd was involved. Mikal was doing his thing. 9 first quarter points from Mikal. Looking good. And you were like, okay. You're opening up strong. Those slow starts have been killing us. You start well, but second half comes around and you forget how to play defense. And your offensive sets become stagnant. So it's unfortunate, man. Tony says, I don't understand why everyone is being hard on Mikal's defense. The team overall has not playing good defense. Not Mikal. Yeah, Tony, it's not just Mikal. It's a team thing. But when you're going to stick Mikal Bridges on Trae Young, I want to see him kind of, give me a possession where you lock him up. Just show me something, man. And tonight, every time Mikal was on Young, running that pick and roll, and it was all she wrote. And it seems like that's the area where this Knicks team is struggling, is pick and roll defense. It's more to that. But, yeah, is it a team defensive effort? Team defensive effort. We play great when we push the pace, and for some reason we always decide to slow it down. Look, Knicks are one of the slowest teams in the league, right? But it has worked for them. Obviously, that has to do with Jalen Brunson in that starting 5. The offense is more on the slower side. But when Campaign and Deuce McBride come in that game, what do? They run, they go, they push the pace. And that's what I love about this bench unit, especially with Precious. And they have been playing well, but can they be on the slower side? Yes. That's why you hear Tom Thibodeau like literally yelling, run, 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 go, go, go. And that's where Josh Hart comes in. He's a big, major part of that. But just a combination of things, man. The transition defense, the pick and roll defense, just stagnant offense tonight. And it was led by your leader who didn't play well. And guys feed off of that, right? Didn't affect Hart, didn't really affect Towns, but guys feed off of that. And I know the lazy thing is, look, if Anunoby hits 2 or 3 or more of those wide open threes, it's a different game, right? It's a different game. If Anunoby just hits 2 of his threes or 3 of his threes, or Bridges hits 2 more of his threes, it's a different game. And you can kind of look at it like that, but it didn't happen. You lost, right? You lost. And that's the frustrating part. That's the frustrating part. Jaden says Deuce can't be 6-man when he needs the ball movement on and off the ball to get involved. The 6-man is a ball handler, not an off-ball handler, in my opinion. Let's look at Deuce is. The thing about Deuce is, look, obviously, when you ask him to run the show, obviously that's not his strength. That's why they pair him with Cam Payne. Cam Payne is more that guy to put people in his spots, to, break down the defense, quick, swift, gets in and out of the certain areas. And Deuce is normally, open in the corners and, on top of the key, just waiting to shoot that moon ball that he shoots. But a couple of times tonight where Deuce McBride, I thought a lot of dribbling tonight, and dribbling out of, his threes, and just a lot of dribbling tonight, slowing down the offense. And that brings me back to, the pace. But yeah, regarding that, it could be frustrating. But we know what Deuce is, guys. And I think I truly do think, I'm going to his game log now. Hasn't scored in double digits since the Charlotte game. But he's defensively, you need Deuce. Defensively, you need him. If you go to the Knicks defensive lineups, the defensive ratings, Deuce McBride is in pretty much all of those lineups. So offensively, can he, like these last few games, 8 points, 5 points? Obviously, you want more from him. You kind of want him to, just give us 15 off the bench. You need that offensive punch off the bench from Deuce. And he has been. But when he has off games, it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look pretty. And we know him. I'm personally not worried about it. I know he'll be okay. I'm just worried that he's not healthy. That's what I'm worried about. And 1 of 6 from 3 tonight, guys, from Deuce. And in the month of December, he's shooting 54% from 3, so you can't kill him. But it's just an off shooting night. And when both him and Payne are not going to shoot the ball well, it's not going to look pretty. I think a lot of people are looking at, they kind of compare him to Peyton Pritchard out in Boston, and they want him to be more of a consistent shooter like a Pritchard, who comes in and just gives you instant offense. And maybe that's what you guys are, wanting Deuce McBride can bring. Because I thought he can win 6-man of the year. I thought Deuce can come in here and win 6-man of the year. And, obviously he's dealing with that knee injury, and hopefully he's good. I'm just hoping that he's healthy. But yeah. Still waiting to see multiple sets of Cat getting the ball in the post. I don't know why he isn't getting these touches in the paint. Yeah, no post, not really any post-ups for Karl-Anthony Towns tonight. Just a lot of high key pick and rolls. And look, Cat just foul trouble, right? And as stupid as it sounds, Hawks just look like they wanted him more. And I hate that saying. I hate that. They look like they wanted him more. That should never happen. This Knicks team should have that killer mentality. Be consistent. Hawks are, they're playing well. Coming into MSG, national televised vehicle. You should beat them. You should beat them. Oh, man. Trae Young and his shenanigans. Jalen Brunson asked about Trae Young standing over the New York Knicks logo at half court, blowing on rolling dice and picking up money like he was on Vegas craps tables at the end of the game. I didn't even see this. I hate this, man. Man. But they won. Brunson responds, we should win the game if we don't want him to do that. Win the game, and he's not doing these shenanigans. But he's a troll. You know Trae Young to be a troll. You know he's going to come into MSG extra motivated. You know he's going to want to go to Vegas, and him doing this on your logo. One, that's disrespectful. That is disrespectful. I'm not going to lie to you. That's disrespectful. And if you're someone in that locker room seeing that, obviously you want to play the game again, but you can't. You lost. Trying to see if I can get some updates on the some more comments, but it's disrespectful, man. Oh, man. I hate to admit, but we shouldn't have gave Hartenstein the bet. We should have given Hartenstein the bag. Look, he chose OKC. He wanted the money. Hartenstein went to OKC. The Knicks can only offer him a certain price. He took the more. He took the higher. He took the money. Hartenstein took the money. To me, if JB is having an off night, you center the offense around Cat and vice versa. I don't know why Davis plays so heavy on one player. Jaden, yes. I agree. Seems like if the Knicks have a game plan, if that game plan isn't working, they still stick with that game plan. But to me, I feel like Bridges had such a great first quarter, 9 points, playing well, looking good, confident. If Brunson is having a bad game, why not run the offense through Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns and, have Brunson just, linger in the corner? Why do you just continue? I know he's your star. I know you want to get him the ball and he snaps out of it. I go back to that Bulls game where he was playing poorly and then he hit those 2 clutch shots at the end of the game. But they need to find different ways to, if another guy is having it offensively, like if OG Anunoby has him one night, all right, let's keep feeding Anunoby. And they have like that Denver game. If Bridges is having a good game, let's run the offense through Bridges tonight. It's going to be one of those games. But tonight, just one of those games, man. Just one of those games. We got to make a trade to upgrade our bench for depth. To me, Tony, I think you brought up Jimmy Butler earlier today, which I don't think is going to happen. But look, if there's any area that you point to with this Knicks team, it's their bench, right? They need another guy. They need another wing. Preferably, they need a big. And you can look at their roster and you look at, they have that. It's just they're not available. It's Mitchell Robinson, not available, and you can't count on him. It's Pacome Daddier is 6'7", 6'8"-ish. He's a rookie. He's not going to get consistent playing time. Tyler Kolek, the water is kind of shut off on him, even though I think he has a bright future. But when Payne and McBride are playing well, there's no playing time for Tyler Kolek. Precious is back. Jericho Sims is, I think, in the doghouse now, even though he played tonight. But this Knicks team should overcome that. It's guys, if the Knicks hit 2 or 3 more of their threes tonight that were open, it's a different game. It's a different game. But what you're seeing is if the bench isn't shooting the ball well, you compile that with the starters, with Bridges and Anunoby, the wing stop, not shooting the ball well. It's not a good recipe. Mike says, yes, why not hit the post and play a little bit simple? Fudo basketball, let Cat kill him till they double and then start kicking it around. The shots will start falling or deal with Cat having 60. Yeah, and I agree. I thought there was, look, Brunson 5 of 15 tonight, 14 points, 8 assists. Just not good, though. Just like seeing Brunson like this is honestly shocking because the last time you saw him play like this was against the Hawks in Atlanta, where he had that bad fourth quarter. Pretty much the same, similar things. He's not seeing the floor well. But chalk it up, bad loss, and you got to move on. Now the Knicks have a few days off here because of this cup. And, hey, like I said, you can kind of look at this in one of two ways. One, you lose, you get more days off, guys get healthier. Two, you lost an opportunity to go to Las Vegas and play the Milwaukee Bucks and possibly play, I think, the OKC Thunder or someone else out west. That would have been nice, but I would pick the rest personally because it just seems like NBA Cup, this or that, it just seems like it's not really a big of a deal. It seems like the teams that are not advancing in the NBA Cup are actually coming out on top because they're playing lesser opponents and they're getting more days off with less travel. So, yes, the NBA Cup is cool and everything for the fans, for us, but, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't really care about an NBA Cup. Obviously, if we were in the final, I would, but now we play Orlando on Sunday at 6 p.m. So we get an extra game versus the Magic because the Magic lost to the Bucks in the NBA Cup. So in the next couple of weeks, you go to Orlando twice. And you can look at that like what happened last year. We had to play, what team did we have to play 5 times last year? Was it Boston or Milwaukee? One of the teams we had to play 5 times last year. And it kind of like, we kind of got the crappy end of the stick. But now we get another game. Orlando, they're without some guys. Wagner's now out. Coach, yeah, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat, just chopping it up. You know, obviously we talked about everything. Bad Knicks loss, but talking about the schedule now. Dibs is used to rolling with one guy. Dibs doesn't seem to know how to win with the team rather than playing through your one star. Cat's shown the ability to pass at a high level. Why not run some plays through Cat? And, yeah, rotations need to change or be able to adapt. There is no way in hell Deuce should be guarding Hunter as a primary guard. Not a fan of how Dibs is running this team at all. Yeah, you could look at a lot of things, man. Like I said, when Mikal Bridges and Deuce McBride were on the court at the same time, Mikal was the one guarding McBride and, Trae Young. I wanted to see Deuce guard Trae Young and put Mikal on Hunter. Hunter was killing us. It's like, I think he had like 4 threes tonight. So it's things like that where you want to see the Knicks get better at. It could just be coaching. It could. Get another rotational player out there, man. Get another rotational player out there. When Hukporti is healthy, that, in my opinion, Hawks came in here and just were out hustling you. Offensive rebound after offensive rebound after offensive rebound for the Atlanta Hawks tonight. It's not good, man. They killed you at your own game last year. They killed you at your own game. In a game where your offense is stalling, defense stop matter when we need more stops in the paint. Mitch, yeah, coach here. I've been talking about it. When the Knicks offense is stalling, they haven't been winning these games. And look, the Hawks didn't shoot the ball well, but they did more than the Knicks to win this game. The offensive rebounding was there for the Atlanta Hawks. The loose balls was there for the Atlanta Hawks. And when you have all of those extra possessions, it's tough. It's tough to overcome that, especially when you don't shoot the ball well. So, free throws. It's been a problem these last 3 games, guys. These free throw shooting from this Knicks team. It's been a problem. Tonight would have been a good night to see Kolex in minutes. Tonight would have been a good night for Porty to get in there. Big body, just with Precious, especially with Cat in foul trouble. But he was out tonight with the ankle injury. So, yeah, Jaden. Hawks saw the mismatch and took advantage. I don't know why. I know you want to put Mikal Bridges on Trae Young and try to shut off his water, even though Young, I thought, didn't really do anything. But, frustrating. Some things to work on for sure. So, you get another game versus Orlando. That is now 3 times in the month of December versus the Orlando Magic. That is on Sunday. So, you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You got 3 days off until your next game. So, it's good for the body. At Orlando, then at Minnesota, then at New Orleans. That's kind of like a wonky travel schedule. I don't know if you go from Orlando to Minnesota and stay over there, but yeah. No NBA Cup for the Knicks team. A lot of things to work on defensively, offensively, just it's simple basketball, man. It's box outs. It's pick and roll defense. That's this Knicks team needs to work on, and we just gotta hope that they can overcome this. Because look, last 3 games you're 1-2, and it sucks because you were feeling so good about yourself. Especially that Raptors win. You were feeling good about yourself, and it's just unfortunate that you couldn't win this one, and you got punched in the mouth. How you gonna respond at Orlando now? Crying to the refs isn't going to help. Coach, I said it was a prison ball out there, man. No blood, no foul out there for these referees tonight. Getting hacked and whacked. Poorly officiated game, but that's not why the Knicks lost this game. Crazy we played 3 teams twice. Weird month, man. But it's a light schedule. Look, Orlando's without Wagner and Paolo. Maybe you get Paolo back in the game in December 27th, but it's a game you got to win. And then Minnesota, these next 2 games are tough. At Minnesota, at Orlando. You know that Minnesota's game is going to be emotional. So we just have to wait and see. And we just go from there. All right, got a podcast tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. It is with LV Live. So at 12:30 p.m., we're going live on the Knicks Nation channel. Make sure you guys tune in for that. LV Live is joining the show. Again, should be fun. A lot of stuff to talk about. Defense, offense, everything. The upcoming matchup. So hope you guys tune in. And once again, appreciate you guys joining. I'm Anthony. I'm going to go relax. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good night. Peace.